I'll never work a 9 to 5 ever again. And this is coming from someone who's lost everything, lost all I had to go back to a 9 to 5 to feel the humility and the disgust which propelled me to never do it again. That's why I'm making this video. But before I talk about this, I need to give you some context so that it makes sense, so that I can show you how I solved some issues in case you're going through the same issues. And if nothing's working for you, perhaps try it. At 18, I joined the military. And it's only because in high school, I screwed up. Family issues at the house was very, very chaotic, and my escape was drugs and alcohol at a very young age. And hanging around the misfits because, hey, at least I had fun with them. When I was home, it wasn't fun. It was a lot of pain, a lot of damage. Everything fell apart. I let myself go. And at the time I'm a kid, it's not like I was supposed to have it all figured out. But to a degree, it deeply affected me because I remember not having a sense of direction. And in class, I would just sit like this and ponder. Everyone is signing up for financial aid, applying to colleges, and they know where they're going in life, or so it seems, right? A lot of people that go to college, they end up hating their career, and then they end up finding their life path, right? But I was just perplexed at a young age. I'm like, and I have nothing figured out. Look at you guys. I thought they had it all figured out. Little did I know, something within me, something bigger than me, was whispering in my ears, but at that time I didn't know it. I couldn't hear it. I was so young, so ignorant, so blind, so just ignorant. I didn't know there was a voice whispering in my ear, giving me the idea that I am not meant to do what you guys do. And so, well, I had a conversation with, at the time, one of my best friends, and we were sitting outside my driveway a few weeks away from graduation. And mind you, I mean, in high school, we didn't have a lot of money. I didn't walk during my graduation. I couldn't afford a cap and gown, didn't go to prom, didn't do all those fun high school stuff. Oh, but trust me, I had my fun in high school, hence all the drugs and alcohol. We sat outside my driveway, and he's like, what do you plan on doing? At the time, like, he knew what he wanted to do, right? He was boxing. He wanted to be a fighter. Now he's an entrepreneur, highly successful, but I sat down with him and I said, I don't really know, man. I just know I don't want to go to school. And it's not because I didn't want to go to school. It's because I'm like, dude, the way my mother's financial status is looking like that, how are we going to afford school? I don't know how to apply for financial aid. I don't want to put my mother through that. It's bad enough that she had to raise me alone with the man that just wasn't up to par. I mean, I'm blessed with my father, right? He's a beautiful human, great guy. But my goodness, like his inability to control his anger and his inability to just take action when people depended on him was a detriment to our family. So I was sitting there and I said, well, I don't know, man. And he threw something in my head. He was like, have you thought about joining the military? And at the time, I'm like, military? Heck no, I'm good. Because I would think the military is like, you come in with a rifle, start shooting, you go to war, and then you're dead. That's immediately what I thought of in the military. Or when I thought of the military. But he left a seed in my head. That night, I went to my house, went to my room, and I knew a few people that graduated before me, and they're doing stuff like they're in the Marines or in the Navy. And I would call them like, hey, can you tell me about it? And with no plan, no blueprint, no step-by-step procedure, nothing, what I did was I sent a Hail Mary out to the universe. I just did it. I went to the recruiting office. I said, hey, I'm graduating in a few weeks and I just want to join. He's like, okay. And I'm like, okay, what do I have to do? He's like, you sign here and we're going to do a few things. And I'm like, cool. Told my parents about it. And my father, to a degree, was proud because I was the first in my entire bloodline to go to the military, I believe. First ever, out of all my cousins, out of anyone. But it's not like I had a sense of pride in it. I'm just like, way to go, Thompson. Now you're not working under a boss. You work for a government that doesn't give a damn about you. You're serving a country that's screwed up. So I had no pride. I had no sense of pride wearing that damn uniform. I was just trying to make it. I was trying to get by. So my father had a sense of pride. And it was mainly because in high school I was just this weak, pathetic little child that I felt like he was like, I can't believe this is my kid. And my argument for that was, I can't believe you couldn't be a better father to guide me. You know, I mean, I was a victim as a kid, man. I hated blaming people. I gave the power to everyone else, and I didn't give it to myself because I was like, oh, I'm screwed up because of X, Y, and Z. I've had the blessing and the time to mature over the years, and now it's just life happened because it happened. It's nobody's fault but mine. I could have done more. I could have been different, but instead I chose not to. So everything that's occurred in my life is a result of my inability to take action. Anything good that's occurred in my life, I give all credit to God. It was not me. So, well, my mother was scared, and they're like, "Are you sure about this?" I said, "Nope, but damn it, you don't have money to pay for school. We can't be thousands of dollars in student debt. I'm not putting you through that. It's okay. I'll figure it out." And so I signed a contract, right? Joined the military, and I spent about 4 years in the military. I made them kick me out early, and I purposely did it because towards the last year of my contract, I felt this deep sense of death in my soul. I felt so unalive. I was surrounded by just disgusting people. And at the time, it wasn't disgusting to me because I enjoyed being around them. I enjoyed going to the club. I enjoyed partying. I enjoyed having fun. But my soul wanted more. It wanted more. And that place was draining. It was so draining. You had to deal with so many egos. Men that are insecure, and when they get a rank, they want to forcefully push that power down people's throat. A simple rank made them feel like they are king. Like, you bleed like me, for crying out loud. Put a bullet through both of our chests. Watch how we both die. Like, you are no different. Well, and that was just my ego and my pride talking at the time, because I hated the fact that I was sweeping and mopping toilets, and I'm like, man, I thought I was going to do something big with my life. And so what happened was I encouraged them to kick me out, and I didn't encourage them by saying, hey, can you please kick me out? That's not like they can do it. I became so bad. I didn't obey anybody. I didn't pick up the phone. They would have to bang on my door. I'd open it, and I'd sit down right on my bed. They couldn't touch me, so all they could do was scream in my face. And eventually, they got more tired of doing it than me. So what happened was I forced them to kick me out. And so I got out early. I got kicked out early. At the time, everyone was like, Thompson's a failure. He's such a loser. And well, I understand why they said that, man. If I could do things different, I would have just been someone that was just a little bit easier to be around. I think that would have made a big difference. But I was young at the time, you know. I'm 19, 20, for crying out loud. Still trying to figure it out. Now I'm only 24. And so I still am just trying to figure it out as well. I get kicked out of the military, and what happens is the next place I land with dreams and aspirations, I want to do something big with my life. I can't wait to do something big. I start delivering food, door dashing, and I'm scrubbing toilets at a commercial gym. And I said, this is what my life has come down to, huh? And it was tough. I was part-time janitor, and I was delivering food more often than not. And at the time, gas prices were high. And so I'd make like 140 door dashing for like 10 hours just to spend like 80, 90 bucks on gas. And so I worked for 10 hours and I made 40 bucks. And I'm like, dude, there's no way I'm gonna be able to sustain this. I'm like, what am I gonna do? And and mind you, before I left the military, I had my father, my mother, even my brother just say, no, you should stay. And I've forgiven them for doing that, because it's not all about me. Because I understand their fear, their scarcity mindset. They could never comprehend the dream that I have. It's physically impossible. It's impossible. Psychologically, it's impossible unless I somehow grab it from my head and embed it deep into their psyche for them to visualize what I see. And the desire I had, I mean, look at their lives, for crying out loud. And this isn't a freaking hit on my parents or my brother, but it's the truth. They couldn't see, and I held a grudge for a long time. Now I'm at peace with it, right? Because I'm just like, oh, that's you. That's just you. Nothing's wrong with that. You're not meant to dream. And if you were meant to dream, you definitely didn't do anything about it. And so I didn't have support leaving. Anyways, I'm at the gym. I'm scrubbing toilets, and one day I'm cleaning the windows and I see the sales representative selling a membership and he didn't close the deal. And I'm like, you're doing it wrong. I'm just talking smack because I'm really sick of cleaning the windows. It's so boring. No one to talk to. I just wanted someone to talk to. He was like, how about you try? I said, I bet you I can. And if I do it, I was hungry at the time. I was like, you buy me a chicken sandwich from next door. He's like, done. So I grab it. I don't know what I'm doing. I grab the clipboard and I just walk up to the door. I'm like, hey, bro. I'm like, we got a gym here. The memberships are pretty damn cheap. You want one? He's like, how much? I said, well, how about I tell you about it? I look back at the dude and I'm like, hey, man, he wants to know how much the memberships are. And the dude looked at me. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. You take it from here. And somehow the deal got closed. I guess my manager at the time saw. And so what he did was he told me, he pulled me to the side. He said, hey, tomorrow meet me at the front. I started saying, why the front? Is there something you want me to clean up, sweep, scrub, something? He's like, no. I'm like, well, what's up, man? Was there a spillage? Someone spilled a drink? He's like, no, man. Meet me here at the front. I want you to do that again tomorrow. I said, I don't know how. I kind of just winged it. I wanted a chicken sandwich. He was like, I know. Just come back here tomorrow. I'll teach you. I was like, okay, do you want me to just scrub toilets first and pick up the bloody tampons out of the women's locker room and then do it? Or he's like, no, man, forget the toilets. Come here. I said, okay, done. So next day I came, and that's my introduction to sales. I started learning how to sell. I guess after being rejected so many times in my life, I had like a natural way of dealing with rejection, which is something that if you're in sales, you know that you need to learn how to deal with rejection, handle rejection. So I started learning how to sell gym memberships, and I started doing a good deal, right? On paper, I was a janitor, but I was selling gym memberships, and I would put the commission under my manager and my assistant manager, because it was the only way for me to get 40 hours as a janitor. And at the time, the commissions were 10%. I'm like, okay, 10% of these, it won't go far. I did the math, and it was better off with me just being able to do full-time janitor, as opposed to switching over to a sales rep and doing 20 hours part-time and getting commission. I said, okay, just bring me on full-time as a janitor, and I'll just do both. I'll scrub the toilets, I'll sweep, I'll vacuum the gym floor, I'll wipe down the equipment, and I'll go sell. Screw it, I'll do it. And so I did that. And so I learned a lot. And then moving forward, what happened was I had a friend at the time. He had started a business. So it's the same friend that convinced me to join the military. Not even convinced me, but planted the seed. So instead of boxing, what had happened was crazy things had happened to where he ended up getting into the nail industry, where he started manufacturing his own products, right? And so he started up a small business that was extremely profitable. And I called him at the time, and prior to that, I would come to the warehouse, help him out, give him a set of hands, just hands. But I said, hey, man, I pitched him one day. I'm like, hey, I got an idea. Why don't I run it by you tomorrow? I learned a lot from sales, and I only was leaving the sales job because my manager was leaving. He was my favorite dude. He was getting transferred to another location. We had another manager come in, and she was a unpleasant person. And I was like, I'm good. And so what had happened was I left, and I called my friend at the time. I said, hey, I learned a lot from sales. I think I can bring that to the business. What do you think? He was like, well, let's talk about it. We sit down and we talk, right? And so for anyone that needs a little bit of context, he manufactured nail products, right? And so he branded his own products, and we were directly B2C. And so we were running an e-commerce store. And so we would do a lot of marketing to attract leads. That was our leads. The leads were nail technicians that never heard about our brand, but the marketing would allow them to kind of be like, wow, I want to try their product. So cool. I handled the B2B. He said another great way for people to know about our stuff is to get this product into actual supply stores, nail supply stores in specific. Not like Walmart, Target, or Sally's, but actual nail supply stores. It's a niche. It's a really niche down industry we were in. So I'm like, okay. I said, okay, how are we going to do that? And so we talked the game plan. And so what I did was I built a script, and I had a natural ability to talk at the time. So what I did was day in and day out for the next, give or take 30 to 60 days, I'd pick up the phone and I'd call. And here's how I do it. I go on Google. I would search for nail supply store near me. I would start in the state of California. I'd zoom in, and it would give me about 50 to 60 stores, even more. I'd call each and every single one. I had a script. I'm like, hey, can I speak with the manager? And I had a whole script, right? I had a whole script to where I can get their email, send them. So I was doing a lot of outbound, email, cold DMs, cold outreach, cold calls. And if they were in a 15-mile radius or even 25-mile radius, I would drive directly to their store. We had a polo with the logo of the company right here, and I'd come. I'm this 21, 22-year-old kid negotiating with full-grown adults that are millionaires, for crying out loud. And I've never seen $50,000 in my life up until that point. So I'm over here negotiating. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? Thompson here with Brother Cosmetics, man. What's going on, man? So, hey, I just want to tell you real quick, man, we've heard a lot about your store. The reason why I'm here at your store is because a lot of our clients, they want our products in your store. You know, we're mainly e-commerce, so we ship our products out. And so we built a decent foundation and a fan base. They live in this area. A lot of nail technicians, they DM us, and they say, hey, please bring your products to X Nail Supply. And that's why I'm here. Because I think that if you bring up products in, you have a lot of clients that buy it off the shelf. We'll give it to you at this price. You'll end up profiting. What do you think? They're like, okay, done. How much? And I would be like, well, it costs X amount to start. All right. And they'll be like, done. And at the time, I'm like, you just said yes to that much money? Hey, I've never seen it before. You know, we're closing anywhere from like $5,000 to $50,000 deals. And I'm like, how did I just get them to sign that? Did I just get them to sign that paper? And then, you know, I'd go back to the warehouse and I'd be like, bro, send them the invoice now. He's like, bro, don't get too excited. Sent the invoice. They'll send a text. Paid off. I'll be like, look at your phone, bro. Look at the bank account. He'll be like, oh, you know, we celebrate. It'd be crazy. So I learned how to sell. And I really enhanced my sales skills there with the startup with my boy, because that's where I was doing directly B2B. It was really cold. It was really outbound, right? At least with the gym, I was working at Crunch Fitness. I relied on the name of Crunch, which helped me sell. So people were buying Crunch. With this, they had to buy us, like me and my boy, what he's built and whatever I was able to help him with. It was magnificent. So I really enhanced my sales skills there, and we'd go to a lot of beauty conventions and we would network with a lot of people, and we're like these 22, 23 young adults, young men negotiating and networking with millionaires, for crying out loud. We could just tell. We would have talks. We're like, bro, they probably have so much money. And so we saw a lot of money. I personally saw a lot of money too. And I thought everything was going good until everything wasn't, right? And then eventually things just happened where I had to part ways. Like I had to. And when I part ways with the startup, I just didn't have any money. Things just happened, right? Eventually, what had happened when I parted ways was I needed to find a way to get money. And so I went back to a 9-to-5. I printed out 50 resumes and I went to every business I could find. I'm like, hey, I'll scrub your toilets. I just need a job. Trying to pick up as many hours as I can to recoup, because I'm like, okay, all I have to do is work X amount of months, which will give me X amount of money. With that money, I can leverage it, make money with that money, and just continue to do what I've always wanted to do. I had a game plan. I just had to swallow glass for an X amount of time. And it happened, right? I landed another job back at the place where that kind of built me, a gym, LA Fitness at the time, because someone knew someone and that person knew that I was looking for a job. And so they gave a good word for me and I got hired instantly, right? Because they wouldn't have to train me. 2, I know exactly what I was doing. I've sold higher tickets than a damn gym membership. And it was very humbling, right? So after that, I was at the gym for a while, just going insane, because I was like, I can't believe this is where I'm at in life right now. It was so humbling, so incredibly humbling. And I got broken off a piece. The startup became highly successful. And for my time and efforts, I got broken off a piece. With that piece, I've leveraged money. Everything I do now is I use that money to make money. If you're wondering how I make money, I trade options via the stock market. That's literally how I make my income to not only survive, but thrive, which buys me time. I make enough money to buy me time to do the thing that I really enjoy doing, which is making content, sharing what I've learned, sharing my experiences with you guys. And when I'm not making content, I'm deep into reading because I need to learn more to teach you more. And then I just happen to work out, right? So that's a quick overview of what has happened. So now I'll tell you why I'll never go back to a 9 to 5 ever again. Let's say I lose everything, I'll never go back. When I departed from the company and I had to go business to business, it was so terrifying to me because I'm like, everyone's gonna see me as a failure. Because at the time I became like the face of the company. And we made that decision because I was highly recognizable. I mean, the voice, the face, and the tattoos. Not to sound egotistical or self-centered, but we used me as an angle to help scale the business. We used this, whatever this is, as an angle. And so we leveraged it. And so I was incredibly well known, but only because the person that was running the company at the time, he did such a good job at building the company on social media. The company had 1.8 million followers on TikTok, organic. And these followers were like actual viewers and customers. Beyond that, we were verified on TikTok. So it was magnificent. So we doubled down on it. We're like, okay, we have a big platform. Let's use you as an anchor to grab attention, and we freaking kill it. And we did kill it. Like we brought in numbers, man. And then we started selling through TikTok Live. I'd be on live and I would just sell all day. I'm talking about products. I'm selling. What's up? Using my face as an angle. I'm like, hey, what's up? If you haven't heard about us, we are this every day. And so we saw decent numbers. But when I departed, I was so upset because during that time, a lot of people recognized my face. A lot of people knew me I was the nail guy at the time. And as I'm walking up to these businesses trying to just look for a job, I went right back to Crunch where I started. And I trained this girl to sell, I remember. And she is now the manager. And I had to go to her and be like, hey, can I scrub your toilets? She's like, what are you talking about, Thompson? You're successful. You're rich. I see you selling nail products. I said, no, I'm not. I need a job. Can I scrub your toilets? Do you have anything for me? She was like, let me see what I can do. How can I contact you in case we need a part-time janitor? I said, you same number. It was so humbling and really painful because it was just painful. But I'm blessed. All of that helped me become who I am now. And the way my life is going now, it's magnificent. It only happened because of that. And I would not want it any other way. Everything happened to perfection. To perfection, man. It was hard. I was trading time for money. I went back from seeing $10,000 made a day. And any millionaire entrepreneur that watches me, I know that's not a lot to brag about, but hey, to us, it was a lot, bro. Like 10,000 a day. We'd see like 76,000 in 6 days. It was magnificent. We're like, dude, they were onto something. We saw those, from seeing those numbers to working an entire month and only seeing 2,400 taxed. I'm just like, damn, what the heck? To where now I have to come in. It was tough for me to get back into a 9 to 5. It was tough. I had sold high ticket deals. I had negotiated deals that these people probably could, but they haven't yet. And I just had to humble myself. I remember there was this personal trainer, forget his name, but he's this young cat, younger than me. And he's like, yeah, bro, I see the hunger in your eyes, bro. You'll make it far in this working with LA Fitness, bro. Trust me, bro. He showed me a pay stub, right? He was like, bro, look what I made last month, just commission. And he was like, and I read it, and it was like $1,000. I'm like, well, way to go, bro. Congratulations. That's super cool. And in my head, I was like, this is outrageous. What am I doing here? He's just, I had to deal with that. I had to be surrounded by people back around the same people that had the scarcity mindset. They would never take a leap. They only ever want to work a job. They're so scared to do anything else. They're normal and they're mediocre. I was back in that environment and I just saw. And I was the weird one. Because when you're in an environment full of freaking, I'm going to say the word, when you are in an environment full of freaking losers, you're weird if you think like a winner. They're like, stop, you're weird. Ew. Don't you just want work and security? I mean, look, don't you want to just get a job and a bigger career? Shut up. Like in my head, I'm just like, shut up. You'll never get it. You'll never understand. That's why you'll stay stuck there. You'll never see what I see. Forget it. And I had to be patient because I've been them before. I've been the dude that was always about security and this and this. But to a degree, I was never about security, man. I've always wanted more from my life. Always. I just never knew how. So, I mean, with the 9 to 5, you trade time for money. I like to leverage money. Like, I like to make money without sacrificing time so I can buy back time to do things. And that's why I share my strategies with you guys. I'll tell you exactly from point A to point B, all the way to point Z, how I plan on doing whatever it is that I'm doing. Because hopefully it helps you. I have no fear in telling you my plans. I want to help someone not feel what I felt. It was awful. I was broke during those startup days. I had like no money. It was tough. I remember sleeping at the warehouse and damn it, I was in a relationship at the time and I didn't even have money to buy my woman a burger. She had to come off work. She was a nurse. She had to come off work and buy me a burger and look at me eating greasy hair. I haven't showered in like 2-3 days. Oh my gosh. I don't even like to remember it. It was freaking brutal, fam. Like it was brutal. Oh my gosh. You know? And during that time, it was like I had to be there. Because if I left, what the heck would have happened? I don't know. But I didn't want to think of the possibilities. I was like, no, like, damn, if I was in this situation, I would want someone to be there. So I was there so that people wouldn't be alone. I was there. I'm not saying I'm the poster child of beauty and I'm an angel. I made mistakes. I remember I was on live one time and I accidentally leaked like an ingredient list for a product that we haven't released yet that was supposed to be completely non-disclosed. Like it was important documents that I leaked on accident for a couple seconds. I made mistakes, man. I used to say things that just wouldn't be smart. I made mistakes. I'm not perfect. I was tough to be around. I'd be there angry all the time because I'm just focused. People mistake me being focused for me being angry. And it's okay. I mean, those people they care about happiness and they want to have a good time and be in a good mood. I wasn't in a good mood because of my circumstances. Sorry. If the roles were switched, I bet you would have been like me. I dare you to try to freaking put my shoes on, for crying out loud, right? So I never really had that level of understanding with the people that I was around. So, I mean, during the startup days, it was tough. I'll never forget this, and I'll share this story now because me and the person that I was with the startup with, we no longer associate with each other, nor do I associate with anyone that he knows. There was a moment when I made a YouTube video in the midst of like the dark times in the startup, and it was literally a YouTube video about just crying. I'm basically crying and venting, and it's just terrible. And the reinforcement I got was, that was a great video, man. And I'm like, thanks. When I departed and I made a video, like it was my best performing video. It was about how I lost everything twice and I just wanted to tell the story. And I also gave practical advice and I helped people feel less alone. And it was just to share a story so people knew that they weren't alone. And it was kind of like my Hail Mary. I'm like, well, if I don't have anything, I have a story to tell. Screw it. Let's use what I got. The reinforcement I got was, feels like you're just kind of looking for pity, wanting people to feel bad for you. And I'm like, well, that's strange. Because when you compare the two elements of my first YouTube video versus this, and the first YouTube video, I was told by you, great video, bro. That was really cool. And this video, where I actually gave knowledge and advice instead of just venting, they're two different things. But the difference is of what was said in the videos. So the startup days were really tough. I felt alone in the startup days. I'm blessed because I helped someone feel less alone, but I felt alone the entire time. I truly did. Not once did I feel like someone was there for me. Not once, man. So When I got a job back at the gym, it was agonizing. I'm trying to strategize on how to make it, and it's terrible because now I'm like, dude, I'm back trading time for money. And I'm surrounded by people who can't dream, and sometimes you have to be patient with people that can't dream. I stopped sharing my dreams with people that I can tell just don't have the level to dream that big. The ones that are hell bent on security. They'll never take a risk. They're meant to be in the rat race. They're meant to stay stuck. They're meant to do what everyone else is doing. You can't communicate with them because they don't even know that's a possibility. They don't know it exists, so it's not necessarily their fault. Try to tell them that you can start a business and make it successful and grow and become a millionaire. They'll be like, oh, sounds like a nice dream in a false reality. No, it's reality, but you cannot even possibly comprehend that you have the ability to do it. So I was back around people like that. And they would just perceive me in a way where they would make me feel like I was egotistical and arrogant when I'm literally just there doing my thing. I'm just there doing my thing. And they didn't want to just give me credit. And so what they did was just like, oh, he thinks he's so good. I don't think I'm good at all. I'm just having a conversation with you. If you perceive me as, I think I'm so good, it's probably because you think I'm that good. And so it was envy, it was ego, it was pride, arrogance, it was misunderstanding and misjudgment. It was so annoying. And I've documented everything. If you go on my YouTube, I've made videos on it. I did it for a reason. Here is me documenting my life so that if in the case that one day things change drastically, we all can look back on that video. I can watch it and cry tears of freaking joy and laughter because I don't know how I made it out. All right. So I'm at the gym. And it's god awful because I'm surrounded by people that's terrible. They're just terrible people. And my gosh, I couldn't be around them at all. I felt like I had no control over my life. I was controlled by someone else because now I was reliant on a paycheck, which is why I get why some people are hell-bent on just staying stuck in a career. They need money and they don't have the means to go start up a business. If they roll that dice, they're screwed. Some people have children. I get it. They don't have the means because now they roll the dice and they fail. Their children suffer. I get it. But it's because they acknowledge the what if things go wrong. What about the what if things go right? What if everything goes right? And I remember when I'm at the gym, I met two people that I'm like, okay, they might have something in them. I see it. And I would talk to them like, hey, man, don't you want to do something? Let's do something. Well, what's up? What you want to do? And I would pitch them. I'd be like, why don't you start a business? They're like, I don't know how. I was like, I'll help. Let's do it together. And I just wanted to throw it out there to see what they would say. They're like, for real? I'm like, yeah, I'll carry the weight. You learn quick so that you can carry some weight. And I had a stack of evidence to kind of back it up. And I threw it out there. Free opportunity, truly. Like, if whoever was going to say, I'm down, let's start a business, I would sit down with them, quit that job, and we would just think about something to do and stay stuck, glued to each other, stay stuck to each other for days on end. I was willing to do that. Provide them value so that they can learn things that they did not yet know. And no one took that opportunity. Fear, just fear. I hated being around fearful people. It reminded me of my family. I hate that about my family. My mother's good now. Me and her had so many conversations to where she's like, she's not fearful anymore. She just wasn't yet exposed to that. But like anyone in my bloodline was all fearful. Like, I want nothing to do with them at all. Get away from me. Poison, like go away. Go away, you small-minded creature. And I'm not hating on them, nor am I angry at them, but it's just they haven't been exposed to it. So all I can do is state the facts and the reality of what it is, which is you don't see what I see. And even if you saw what I see, you lack belief. You don't even believe it that is possible because you don't believe in yourself because you haven't done it. I made phone calls to people telling them like, oh, would you quit your job, man? Everything's going good, this and this. I'm doing this and this. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, that's cool, man. When I was your age, I was doing like almost like it's an ego battle. Like, I'm trying to share good news with you, but instead you think I'm boasting. And the only reason you think I'm boasting is because you assume that my life is better than yours. And if not, then why are you clashing with me? If you don't assume that my life is better than yours, like, what's up with this ego clash? Like, I'm sharing good news with you. And it was so tough. I'm in a position now where I don't know how I ended up here, but I did by the grace of God, man. I haven't failed. Whatever chunk of money I was broken off because the company decided to be so kind and generous and sweet and just gave me some money for my time invested there, I haven't lost it. I, I've been able to leverage it. And I look back and I'm like, I don't deserve this, man. Why me? Not me. I don't deserve this blessing. I'm screwed up, not me, man. But somehow it's been given to me by God. It's 100% not me. I can guarantee you that. None of this was me. And I hate people that claim they're self made. Self made means you had no help. Shut up. Yes, you did. You've had help. You wouldn't be here unless you had help. There's only a rare percentage of people in this world that are self made. And so when I hear people open their mouth because of their own damn pride and ego and say, I'm self made, you don't know what I've been through, shut up. No one cares. You had help. That's why I'll never say I'm self made. I've had help. I've never been completely alone. I've had a bed, a house to sleep on, a house to be in, a bed to sleep on, food, resources, access to the World Wide Web. I've had help. If you're in a position right now where you're in a 9 to 5 and you want more, I'll tell you what I did to figure out my life's path, things that happened and how it led to this moment. So that was just some context, and I know that was a long time. When I was with the startup, we made a decision to make me the face, which is where I got a light bulb moment where it's like, people might just be tuning in for me. And we kind of ran a test, right? I would be on live and the other person would be on live, and no one really watched the other person, but they watched me. And so I said, maybe I'm someone that can get attention. What if I have something that I didn't know I had before? And so that's one thing that I'll be eternally grateful to that person for, because that person opened the doors for me to see the potential that was lying dormant underneath all these years. It was always here. And that was I always wanted to be something, someone. I always wanted more for my life. That was what it was. That was what was lying dormant. That was potential. If you have that desire, it's your potential that's lying dormant, because that was the case for me. And so I got a light bulb moment. That's when I started doubling down on like my personal brand. Started putting my name out there, my face out there. Started making videos and stuff. I'm like, dude, people might actually just come and listen to me. Maybe I do have a story to tell. Maybe it can help somebody somehow, some way. So I started making content, and it just kept growing. I just kept growing. I had knowledge that I never felt like I could share with anyone, because I'm like, you won't get it. And I just put it into my videos now, and I see people that get it. I used to do TikTok lives where people would just sit there for hours listening to me teach. I'm like, dude, this is something. So I just doubled down on the thing that I knew I had, the anchor and the lever that I had, which was this voice. Not only is it something that's authentic and is strange and one of one, but I can use it to inspire, to teach, to help, tell a story, give you the wisdom I've had, share my experiences and the lessons I've learned. So I hated being part of that damn industry. Being known as the nail guy, I freaking hated it, man. Especially because it's not like I was rich. If I was more wealthy, I'd be like, screw it, yeah, I'm the nail guy. But dude, I'm the nail guy. I hated it. It was a great opportunity. It did so much for me. It helped me learn skills and meet people and see what I had. But just because it did a lot for me doesn't mean I have to love it. I hated it. I truly hated it. I figured out what I was supposed to do because I figured out my gift. And I teach you guys sometimes, if you guys watch some of my videos, on how to figure out what your gift is. And to me, your gift is something that was given to you by God. And everyone has a gift. It's something that you do naturally without little to no effort. And people always tell you how good you are at it. For me, when I would speak, people would be impressed by my knowledge and my articulation and my ability to just speak naturally and coherently and just go. It needs some training still. It's not perfected, but it was there. And I kept getting reinforced that maybe I'm good at this. And so I said, what if I spend time alone to really get better at it? So that I can speak more often and teach more often. Because in front of a camera, I'm quite comfortable. I'm not uncomfortable. I flow naturally, if anything, when I'm in front of a camera. It's like my natural state. I'm meant to be in front of a camera. It's very natural for me. I don't get anxious. I don't get shy. I'm here. Let's go. Time to inspire, right? You find your gift by asking yourself, what do I do naturally better than everyone else? And then the next step is to enter the stage of mastery, where you enter solitude, isolation even. And you're in the constructs of your own mind and you're trying to perfect this gift. So that was where I was doing a lot of studying, a lot of reading. I would speak. I'd go on TikTok live a lot, and I would just speak to a camera in front of an audience. I was virtual, and I would just try to see if I could do like a rapid Q&A. A lot of people would ask questions, and I would just fire back with an answer quick, explain it coherently, and see how long I could do that for. And dude, these TikTok lives would last. I could do it for 4 to 9 hours, nonstop talking, keep going. And so I'm like, dude, I might have something here. I just gotta learn more. I just gotta be better at it. And dude, maybe I can use this for something. Hence, me starting my YouTube channel, right? That was when I just said, okay, let's try this out. If you guys didn't know, in the beginning, my YouTube channel was called After Hours. And it was called After Hours because I would stay late at the warehouse, like after like 11 a.m. all the way to like 4 a.m. just talking to my TikTok live audience. So I was like, hey, what if I make a YouTube channel, guys? If you guys miss my lives and miss my teachings, what if I make a YouTube channel and I just post it there? I'll name it After Hours. That was like the early stages of it, right? Some people might know that. Some people may not. If you remember that, dude, you've been here for a long time, then you know. And if you don't know that, then it's okay. But I made the YouTube channel and I went full throttle, right? And you're on the right path when things try to pull you away from the path. And somehow life just happens where you get redirected back. So let me share what happened. After I identified my gift and I tried my best to get better at it, the next step is to say, you need to ask yourself, well, what can I do with this? How can I give this to the world? How can I share this? Hence, me making content, me making YouTube videos, right? I needed to share this voice with something, somehow, someone, and I had to get it out there. And so, YouTube, content on Instagram. You fast forward, and I'm here now where I've continued to do exactly what I enjoy doing, learning and teaching, speaking. I've always been reinforced this idea that I'm meant to be in front of a crowd. There were moments where I was in front of a crowd with the startup. There were moments in my life where I was in front of a crowd, either by my own mistake or I was called in a way to do it. And I'm not trying to say like I'm special. I don't think I'm special. I think I'm not deserving of anything I've been blessed with, truly. I can't make sense of how my life is where it's at now and how I've been able to do some things that I find meaningful. Like, not everyone gets this lucky. I don't know how I'm so lucky. Like, I'm so blessed, and I'm telling you, like, you are too. Like, if someone screwed up like me, dropped dead, good for nothing, was blessed to do this, I promise you are too. Because I'm by any means a failure. I'm by any means screwed up, and I'm the least deserving. Not me. So, maybe a month and a half back, I was making a lot of content. I was reading a lot. I was dialed in, and my barber hits me up, goes, "Hey, I was wondering if you could make a website for me," because he knew that I knew how to make websites, right? I made a website for the startup. In that industry, we had a friend who also had a nail company. She had her own brand, and I made a startup for her, or I made a website for her. And so I have experience in making like a pretty beautiful website, or decent, I'd say. And I said, yeah, sure I can, bro. And so we met at Starbucks. We were just doing everything. And then what happened was I went to the barbershop and we would just sit down and I would talk about how he plans on growing it. And I was just fascinated with the vision. And I said, hey, how are you going to do outbound? What's your lead funnel? You got barbershops around here. How are you going to get them to come to you? How are you going to attract these leads? Do you have a CRM? What hosting platform do you plan on using? What's your lead nurture system looking like? Like, do you plan on emailing them? You plan on texting them? I'm asking him all these questions. He's like, I don't really know, man. I haven't had time to think about it. I've been so busy. So I pitched him something. I said, well, this sounds nice. I would love to be a part of it. I said, I've had experience in being with a e-commerce business, B2B and B2C. I said, this would be my first time in a service-based brick and mortar, but the functionalities of a business are the same. I'm like, let me help. Free. And if I can do it for 6 to 12 months, then what I'll do is I'd ask for a stake around that time frame. We'll talk percentages later, but I want a stake. If I can help you grow this barbershop and I can do exactly what I said I was going to do, then I want a stake. So that's what we did. And if you didn't know, that's the thing that actually diverted me from my path. I'm back here now. If you noticed, I'm making videos more often now, every day, like I used to back then. And it's because this was where this is where I was supposed to be. I played the YouTube game very long. I don't expect to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers in 1 year. I see it being successful in 4 years, 5 years. And I'm so grateful that I have enough money to leverage it and make money using my money so I have time to grow this so I can be patient and play the long game. I'm so blessed. After being at the barbershop, life happens in a way where I got redirected back here. I met people. There was someone that I encountered and I met, which literally just pulled me back here. At the barbershop, I had lost a sense of myself. I started losing weight. I wasn't training, eating like garbage because I was just like, I didn't care. Plus, everyone around me did it, so I did it too. And I'm like, now I see like the stage of solitude is not over for me. I have to stay in solitude to help you, to share my story still, to learn, to enhance whatever I have now and get better. Because this is my life's path, and I was able to only do it because I was able to identify my gift. I had to really be aware, but I had to go through certain things in order to even open the window of opportunity so that I can be this person now that's speaking in front of you. I have no idea where this is going to take me. If it takes me somewhere far, I can't wait for all of us to just look back on these videos like, damn, I'll be crying. Are you kidding me? I don't know how I did it. And if not, then hey, it was worth a shot. I always say that there's no failure. If you fail, you have a great story to tell. And if you win, you have an even better story to tell. And I never said that. I got that from Alex Hormozy, which really creates this win-win framework of just do it. There's no need to fail. Who cares what people have to say about you? The most painful thing for me to do was go back and look for a job. It was so painful. I felt like a failure. I was. And I somehow made it. And I've been able to be as authentic as I can throughout it. And I'm so grateful for that because I've seen people be their least authentic self in order to make it. And I'm so happy, filled with gratitude like that I'm able to do it authentically. I share with you these stories, not because it's like, woe is me, boo-hoo, Thompson, oh, it's all about you, but you're not alone if you're going through that. You're not alone if you dream, if you want more for your life. You're not alone. I'm right here. I was there. I felt it. It's so painful. Like, I know. But you just have to take it one step at a time. Whatever you're doing right now, it's because it's building you. The whole point of the journey is to build you so that you can become someone that's deserving of whatever it is you want. If you want $1 million, the journey is going to make you turn you into someone that's deserving enough of holding $1 million, not screwing up your life. It's going to take time. What's helped me was completely eliminating this short-term plan. Like, I wanted to happen in a year. Screw that. Like, I'm okay with it happening in 10 years, 5 years. And if I'm dead, it doesn't matter anyways. So I have nothing but time. So I use time to my advantage. I have it. I'll use it. I'm really blessed, man. And I wouldn't be doing anyone a service if I can't just tell these stories and teach you guys whatever it is I know so that you guys don't have to feel what I felt. If you have enough money to just go full throttle on something right now, leave your 9 to 5, go. No fear. Freaking jump in. Fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. Go. Don't think of what if it goes wrong? What if it goes right? What if everything goes right? Are you kidding me? Like, what if you win and you hit big? Your life can change. Just roll the dice. If you lose everything, just go back to working and restart. That was my plan. When I had nothing, I was getting these jobs 9 to 5 so I can restart, get the money. I'm like, okay, I'll be here for 6 months. I'm gonna get the money. I'm gonna find a way to get this money, leverage it, make more money using the money. I already knew. And I don't want you to think my whole life I've had it all figured out. I'm like the last person on this earth that has had it all figured out. To a degree, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm always gonna try to figure it out. I'll be 60 just still trying to figure it out. I'm 24. I've seen enough, but not all of it. There's more pain I have to feel, lessons I have to learn, people I have to meet. Time is your most valuable asset, so use it. If you have to trade it in the early stages for money, that's fine, but you need to set a certain number. Like at 10,000, I would take this 10,000 and I would do this with the 10,000 or something. Otherwise, you just constantly just keep going. 10,000 isn't enough. I'm scared of losing it. No, let's just stay in this job until I hit 20. 20 is enough. I might lose it. Let's just go 30. And you just stay stuck and stuck and stuck. No fear. Go. Something is watching you. I promise. I don't believe in God because I grew up in a house that believed in God. I don't believe in God because I was taught. I never knew what God was. I believe in God because I look back on my life and I have no explanation. I should have failed. I should have been way worse. But I didn't. I didn't fail. Don't get stuck in this false sense of security that these jobs give you. You're meant to do a lot. All of you are meant to inspire, change the freaking world, heal the world, become someone, something, make an impact. I knew how to do none of this and I just went full force. Like I had no idea and I just went. And if I can do it, you can, because I'm not that impressive, man. I promise you I'm not. You got this. Are you kidding me? It's gonna hurt. Every day you just have to sum up courage to make it through. But if you can do it long enough and you get through, you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm telling you because it's what I've experienced, not what I've read. I would go to sleep wanting to freaking die. I'd rather not wake up the next day. To where now I can't explain how far I've come. Why it happened this way. I shouldn't be here, you know? But I am. Which means something is telling me that just tell your story. Because there's more people in this earth, Thompson, that feel like they don't belong, like they don't deserve anything, that they want to die. I'm telling you, you're not alone. I've been there. You gotta save every dollar. Have a plan. It doesn't have to be a perfectly put together plan. Have an idea and start executing. And don't get disappointed or unmotivated when you don't see a return. Play the 5 or 10 year game. And when you do that, you can eat glass for a long time. You could just swallow the pain. Because you're like, it hurts in the first year, hurts in the second year, hurts in the third year. But on the 5th year, I'm going to hit. I'm going to win. I'm going to do everything I said I was going to do. You owe it to your damn self, man. There's a future version of you that's depending on this you right now to make the proper decisions so that that version of you can literally come into reality. You owe it to that person. You owe it to him. You owe it to her. Whoever it is. Don't let fear hold you back. Become the best version of yourself so that you can give that to the world. Don't be stuck in this small bubble where you don't want to escape it. You just want to keep watching videos. You want to keep just being the same old person that is miserable. No, you deserve so much more. I've been miserable. It's terrible, man. Oh my gosh, it's aching. Like it rips your soul of meaning. You don't want to survive anymore. Like you don't even want to live. Oh, it's empty. I still remember how that felt like. I viscerally remember those nights at the warehouse. The words that were said about me. I can only imagine what they said behind my back. I remember it, and it's like after all that I've sacrificed, I felt alone. I know how it feels to be alone. It's awful. Oh, it was so painful. And when I told a story about it, I was the selfish one. Like, gosh, I can't describe it. The insanity. Are you kidding me? You're not alone. Like, I know. Assume that luck isn't real. And if it is real, well, damn it, it doesn't give a damn about you. Develop skills that will end up paying you so that these skills buy you back time. We're always going to campaign for the thing that we've done. I campaign for a sales job. That's where I learned to sell memberships at the gym. I would sell $200 memberships, and that'd be $20. It was that one ability to sell that took me to a startup where I sold $2,000 to $50,000 ticket deals. And yeah, I was taking 10% of that. So a $50,000 deal, I'm pocketing $5,000. And it wouldn't take much energy to close that deal. It was phone call, hey, pitch, email sent, follow up next day. Are you ready? Cool. Invoice sent, paid off, done. 2 days. Like, are you kidding me? When you gain a high value skill, you get more for your time. And when you get more for your time, you now have money that you can leverage. You can use it to make more money. And so you end up buying back time to do the thing you've always dreamt of doing that was meant for you. You have a life path, for crying out loud. You need to know what that is. If no one believes in you, if your family has a scarcity mindset and they're full of fear and they don't even believe in you, me too. If you have people talk down on your name, me too. If the same people you would have died for are the same ones that would have never done the same for you, me too. If you sacrifice for someone and they would never do the same for you, me too. If you've been around poisonous people, me too. If you've been made to look like the bad guy, me too. If you made mistakes and did a million things right, but and people can only focus on the mistakes you made, me too. If you feel like dying, I have to. If you wanted to give up, I have to. If you felt empty, me too. Hungry, me too. I'll never forget when I was hungry and I had to look in a trash can for some food because I just didn't want to ask for money from that person. I just didn't. Felt like a burden. I know how it feels to give your all and not really be appreciated. I know how it feels to give your all and have people talk behind your back. I know how it feels to try your best and have people that you care about and you would assume they care about you too, but behind your back they're saying disgusting things like, yeah, me too. You're not alone. If you're watching this video and if you made it this far, you're meant to win. There's a reason you've made it this far. You have a desire to win deep in your heart. You just have to sum up every ounce of courage it takes to take the first step. Courage isn't lack of fear. Courage is despite the fear, I will move. That's what courage is. No one just doesn't have fear. We all have fear, but some of us are just courageous, meaning since we have the fear, but regardless of the fear, we're just gonna take action. If you made it this far, you're gonna win. Maybe not now, maybe not in a year, but definitely in 5-10 years if you just go. And that's a whole lot better off than not winning at all. Play the game long. Swallow the glass. Feel all the pain, all the memories. Because it's going to be your story to tell one day. And never be afraid to tell your freaking story no matter what people think about you, man. No matter if people think that you're just looking for oh, poor you, or if people think you're just trying to get some pity, screw them. Tell your story. It's going to help someone out there. It's going to give someone out there hope to keep waking up the next day. Screw what those poisonous people have to say about you. They don't get it anyways. They care about external validation. You don't. Tell your story, man. Live a life, tell your story, and freaking be the best version you can. Be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Squeeze every drip of potential out of you. You're not alone, man. You're not alone. A lot of these videos are kind of notes to self. Like, I wish I'm talking to like younger Thompson right now. I actually am. I'm speaking to younger Thompson. This is everything I would have told younger Thompson. Like, hey, man, it ended up being okay. No, those people aren't in your life anymore. I know it's scary, right? You thought it was going to be a forever thing. Life happens, and look at you now. You're better. At 24, you're going to be better. I know right now at 22 it's tough, but dude, just wait 2 years. It's going to get better. I wish I could just tell younger Thompson that, but I can't. So I want to tell you, whoever's watching, you, if you're younger than me, or even if you're older than me. I've had some people watch me and they're much older than me. Inspiration is inspiration, no matter how you see it. Wisdom is wisdom, no matter who it comes from. Lessons are lessons. Keep winning, keep crushing it, man. Show up for yourself. Just never give up. You only fail when you give up. Kill it out there, man.